Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back
Baby Got Stacks.
to Baby Got Stacks. Is that kind of rhyme?
Welcome back to Baby
Oh,
Got
yeah,
Stacks.
that is.
Yeah, it does.
Why
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed that
I don't
before.
know.
Well, today we have very popular author Colleen Hoover, All Your Perfects.
I love Colleen Hoover.
Love Colleen Hoover.
Not a fan of this book, though.
I'm still processing. Cause I'll talk it through. We'll talk it through. But this is the fourth book of hers I've read. So it must be like your fifth or something, because you've read one or two more than I have.
I
Something
don't
like that.
think so.
I haven't read November 9.
I've read
I know that
November
for
9th,
sure.
but I haven't read It Starts With Us yet. I've read It Ends With Us, but not It Starts
I
With
haven't
Us.
read it either.
Oh, okay. I thought you asked.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no, I'm very behind on my
No,
TBR.
I've read November 9th. Let's see. November 9th, It Ends With Us, Ugly Love, and Verity.
And yeah,
Yes.
yep. So, Colleen Hoover, very popular on TikTok.
Oh, she sounds and looks like a wonderful person.
She's
She's hilarious.
Some people have problems with her books because they think she might use a character's trauma to make the story. How do I say it? Not, I guess, exploits different traumas, but there are people out there who have gone through this, and so they get to see, either read about someone in the same situation.
I think it brings to light tough subjects that not a lot of people want to talk about.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You and I both, we found out Colleen Hoover from Verity. That was the very first book that we both read.
And that's like her one thriller.
Yeah.
And all her rest are romance. So that is like her one random.
But I've loved all the other ones.
Liked Ugly Love. I liked It Ends With Us. And this one, I'm still trying to figure out what I think. I think I rated it a 3. I rated it a 3.
I gave it a 3 as well.
Yeah, pretty middle of the bar. If you want to go ahead and read the back.
Yeah, so this book goes from between then and now. Each chapter is different.
Little flashback.
So it starts with then. The last thing Quinn expected was to meet the love of her life just outside her fiancé's front door. A year after leaving behind their cheating partners, Quinn and Graham are in a perfect relationship that seems designed by fate. Now, 7 years later, their perfect love is threatened by their imperfect marriage. The memories, mistakes, and dreams that they have built over the years are tearing them apart. The one thing that could save them might also be the very thing that pushes their marriage past the point of no return.
Yeah. So we'll probably just go straight into spoilers, because I don't know how to talk about this without talking about her biggest, the relationship's biggest problem.
Well, I mean, this book starts with her being engaged to a man named Ethan.
Oh yeah,
and Graham being in a relationship with a girl named Sasha, and Ethan and Sasha are having an affair.
Yeah, Quinn comes, she was just on a trip, and then she wanted to surprise Ethan, so she goes to his apartment and sees this man right outside his door and staring. She's like, oh, Jesus, how do I get in there without this crazy man hurting me or something? But yeah, it turns to find out he followed his girlfriend to Ethan's apartment, and then they start hearing things, and so they just sit down, eat the food that Ethan and Sasha ordered.
Yeah. This book starts off with a bang.
Yeah.
Literally. That's my pun. There you go.
Oh my God. Congrats.
I've been holding on to that pun
weeks
for so long. I was reading this and I was like, wow, this book starts off with a bang. Literally. And then I giggled to myself and I was like, oh, I'm so using this on the podcast.
Did you write that down?
No, but
you
I
actually
almost
memorize
did.
It. Nice.
No, I memorized it.
You should have put that on a post-it right at the front.
Almost did.
I
almost did.
Oh man.
But one of the things that I tabbed was the ending of, I think this is chapter 1. Yeah, chapter 1. She must not realize this, or she wouldn't have thrown away her relationship with a guy who impressed me more in 1 hour than Ethan did in 4 years. I was like, that is quite the line.
Yeah, apparently Ethan was just a rich snob asshole, and his family was well off, and
Well, her
Quinn's
mom,
mom
I was gonna
is
say Quinn's mom is a lot of work, and she wants to be rich, and she wants
and definitely wants people to perceive her as
yes,
rich.
and so of course she wants her daughters to marry rich. So she
Yeah,
can
when
keep the
Quinn
wealth in the
told her
family.
finally that she left Ethan, the mom was like, "Couldn't you just forgive him and marry him anyways?" Like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That was awful. But Quinn's mom didn't come from much, and then she married rich, and then married rich again to stay rich.
Yeah.
And Quinn and her sister
Ava.
Ava somehow managed to dodge the being extra like their mom.
Yeah.
And they're pretty well grounded. But like they don't like asking them or her for money or anything. But where I guess we'll go into spoilery things now, since we slowly learn about Quinn and Ethan. Not Ethan. Jesus, what's his name?
Graham.
Graham. Their marriage in the present.
Yes.
They've been married for
7 years.
7 years and been trying to have a baby. And Quinn goes on and on and on and on and on about how it's her fault that they can't have a baby.
So I had a big problem with this book.
Yeah.
Like a big problem.
Me too.
Because if you're close to me in my life, you know that I have always wanted to be a mom someday. That's a big thing to me. But obviously it's a big thing to Quinn as well. But the way that she treats Graham in this book
It's
has
so
me
awful.
so upset.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Okay.
I didn't like Quinn.
I didn't like Quinn. I don't like Quinn
I
at
think
all.
that's what made the book so hard to read, because I really didn't like her.
Yeah, and you're reading from only her perspective.
Yeah.
And so you're stuck in her head of someone you dislike, and it's a struggle. And I kept going back and forth. I was like, am I a bad person for disliking her? Because she really wanted kids. They both got tested, like, they're for the reproductive systems, and Graham was fine.
He was actually more than fine.
Yeah,
I
he
believe.
was.
He was
I
like,
forgot what the doctor said, but it was
I
like a
don't
little
know,
weird.
superior. Or something. I don't know.
Yeah, superior sperm motility or something.
Yeah.
But it's Quinn's AO. Sponsored by Dr. Pepper, not really, but
Oh, I wish. Oh, the day that would come.
Quinn, it was like her uterus was like a hostile environment or something for sperm.
Well, she had endometriosis.
She had endometriosis, which
Which
made it
also-
more difficult, and they couldn't have kids. They looked into adoption, but Graham had something in his past where he attacked someone as a kid. What was it? He was 19. I forgot
He
what
did
it
not
was.
attack
Oh,
anyone.
what did he do? He steal?
So, no.
I don't remember this book at all.
Wrong.
What did he do?
So he was 19. Him, his best friend Tanner, and Tanner's 16-year-old brother.
Oh, that's
They all
right.
went to a party,
Oh,
and
that's
Graham
right.
was the less drunk out of all three of them. So Graham drove the
Right.
2 miles home,
And they got T-bone.
and yeah,
Okay.
and a guy didn't see the stop sign or just didn't
just
care,
went for it. But
and
he
T-boned
was
them
underage and drinking.
in drinking. So he got a DUI, and
Tanner
died, and then Tanner's brother was injured, and so he got the DUI, and I believe he was also
Like
charged
manslaughter or
for
something?
like reckless endangerment
Yeah.
of the 16-year-old or something, but he was never charged for Tanner's death.
Yeah.
And that like really haunted him.
Yeah.
And because it was on his record,
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't.
Adoption
Yeah.
agency saw that
Yeah.
despite how long ago in the past. So they couldn't adopt, or they kept trying, but that's a lot of money, and they kept trying to do IVF. That's
Yeah.
a lot of money, and it never worked. And she started fixating on when she was ovulating, and that would be the only time she has sex, and then it became science rather than
Yeah, because she
loving
would
her
never
husband.
want to actually have sex just on the whim.
Yeah.
Because then she was in her head as they were having sex.
Yeah.
Wait, 14 days from now is this.
Yeah, and then I need to take the test, and then it became so scheduled and so obsessively so,
Yeah, there's
which she falls into depression essentially, and she just doesn't even like touching her husband, knowing that it would end to sex and that sex would lead to disappointment of him having a
but
baby
she'll let him touch her affectionately outside the house.
out in public, like at a family's house, whatever, because she knew it wouldn't lead to sex because they were out in public. And so she was only nice to him essentially when they were out in public.
There's one point in the book where they are having sex, and he pulled out, and she could feel him like the cum like sliding down into the mattress.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Did he just?" He did, and he didn't finish inside me. I was like, "Oh, Graham."
Yeah, she was like, "Well, this was a waste of sex." It's like,
yeah,
care for your husband. Jesus
she
Christ.
pissed me off.
Ugh. And like, I can understand really wanting a child, but at that point, you should go see someone. And like, I don't want to invalidate someone's feelings. Like, I'm sure someone's actually felt that way and made it, but you got to help yourself.
Yeah. So obviously, like, we're not gonna like talk down to someone if they feel like that. I mean, like you said, feelings are valid, all that good stuff. But
in this fictional world with this fictional character, us reading this book, it's like frustrating.
Like I said, I've always wanted children, but at the same time, if I had a guy that made me feel like amazing, and, like the perfect guy, at that point, like that's good enough. Like, I'm thankful I even got that, because some people don't even get that.
You still get to spend your life with someone you love.
Yeah. Maybe instead of kids, you travel more. I don't know. Do something else. Because like I said, if I ended up not being able to have kids, or I don't have kids or whatever, I'd be a little upset.
Yeah.
But also, I've got you. I've got other people that hopefully will have kids, and I can just spoil them. I could get them all pampered, and sugar high, and then send them back home.
Dear God, please don't. But it even came to the point where Ava, Quinn's sister, gets pregnant, and she even told her mom first. They call each other, they have the same mom, but they always say your mom. But she told their mom first that she was pregnant, and then told Quinn very like slowly and carefully. Because Quinn's like, oh my gosh, she was afraid to tell me she was pregnant because I've been like trying to get pregnant, and like I don't want to like have her think like I'm not excited for them. And then she was like, wait, I think I am a little jealous. And it's like, check yourself.
And so Graham also has sisters who have children as well, and there's a part of the book that comes into. I'm trying to think of, and it's just a lot of back and forth.
But you see how frustrating Quinn is in the present, and then you got to go back to when they first met and first started dating, and how cute they are, and how in love they are, and how like they immediately connect and start talking and just joke around and meet the families really well and just understand each other. And you're like, why was that not enough? And by the end of the book, that's like the question she's asked. But like, they're in the present, they're arguing, Quinn and Graham, and out of nowhere, he's just like, why didn't we get a dog? And it's like, yeah, why didn't you, Quinn?
Exactly.
It's like,
and then in the middle of the book, like pretty much, like smack dab in the middle of the book, she can see out of their living room window, and she sees Graham pull up to this car, wipes his mouth, wipes his neck, fixes his tie, and like sits in this car for a little while. And she's realizing like
he's
was with
himself.
he was with someone. And so of course when he comes in, she's like, what's her name? And her name was Andrea, and Andrea and Graham worked together. And I tabbed a point of this fight because I just couldn't believe that she
husband of the year.
Let me.
She's such a low baller too. Like she does low blows.
Like I said, I tabbed this, so I'll read this paragraph because this paragraph got me heated to the point where I was like
I would have punched the girl.
Yeah, I was very upset, and I actually had to explain the book to Dean because I was reading it and I was starting to get like pissed off,
mad,
and he was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No."
I put it down a couple times. I'm like, okay, deep breaths.
Yeah,
deep breaths.
So she says, "Graham, I haven't gone anywhere. I've been here this whole time, but you can't see me because you're still searching for someone I used to be. I'm sorry I'm no longer who I was back then. Maybe I'll get better, maybe I won't. But a good husband loves his wife through the good and the bad times. A good husband stands at his wife's side through sickness and health, Graham. A good husband, a husband who truly loves his wife, wouldn't cheat on her and then blame his infidelity on the fact that he's lonely.
This bitch.
I read that and was so livid.
Like she won't even like hug him very long or like touch him at all or like talk to him at all throughout a day.
Yeah.
And he's trying to like make connections with her and like asking her things, and she just avoids contact, pretends she's asleep early. Like he's trying so hard.
Yeah. The whole
so
shebang.
many things. And she always says that he doesn't see how she's changed and he doesn't love her for what she is now. But she's so stuck on the idea of what she had when she was younger. Like she can't realize that she hasn't changed, and that's the problem.
Yeah. It
makes me so mad.
It really irked me. And I am the person that like, obviously I hate cheaters.
I was like, not to excuse his behavior, but all they did was kiss twice, which is still a thing. But the fact that he could have gone so much longer, and he was saying like, what was his final reasoning? Because at first he said,
well, he
like,
said
she reminded
that
me of you.
Yeah.
And so like when I kissed her, I was thinking it was you,
which doesn't help.
No.
Like I said, I don't excuse his actions, even kissing. I even told Dean, I was like, even like emotional, like texting, flirting, like that to me is cheating. I could really go down a rabbit hole on that whole subject. But I also, like, if we're looking at this book, I could see why he did it. And honestly, I don't really blame him because she's such
already
a bitch.
So disconnected, and so it makes me so mad. And throughout you see different portions where she's like, I broke out the small box that we have, and he's like, are you gonna open it? It's this whole thing of like, are you gonna open this box or not? And you aren't told what's in it until the very end. Me nuts.
I was like,
what about the goddamn box? I thought at first it was like the ring box, and she was thinking of like putting her ring back. That's what I thought originally. Okay. But then it kept being a whole thing. It's locked. It's like not to be opened.
Yeah,
but,
it's very secretive.
Yeah. There's not much to talk about from the past other than
not in the past.
They get married.
But
obviously.
Another big thing is so right after she figures out that like he kissed Andrea, all this stuff, she is in bed and she realizes that she's bleeding.
Oh, that's right.
And come to find out, she was having an ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah,
and was hemorrhaging.
And it was like they fought. She left the house for a little bit, cooled down, came back, got in bed, and they went to sleep in the same bed. And then she woke up in pain and was like, I think she blacked out. Grandma took her to the hospital. Yeah, she had a cervical ectopic pregnancy. Very rare. In fact, the chances of a woman experiencing this type of ectopic pregnancy are less than 1%. And she just couldn't believe that she had actually gotten pregnant. And so she was stuck on, but we did get pregnant. So there is actually hope. Like, I managed to get pregnant. And then Graham was like, oh, Quinn. She had to have a hysterectomy. Yeah. Because of it. Because she was bleeding too much. Oh, there she goes. If you hear a cat screaming in the background, that is our 21-year-old cat Pumpkin. There she goes. Who likes to just yell for no reason. She's got something to say. I fed her lunch. She's totally fine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so now she like for sure cannot have kids. So now she's just like upset, obviously. Yeah. Which that sent her spiraling. So then she flies to Europe to go be with her sister for a couple weeks to just figure out if she even wants to be with Graham still. Yeah, he left him completely on a hillside, just left dangling.
So
Like, is my wife gonna divorce me or not?
So then Graham flies to Europe to surprise her.
Yeah.
Brings the damn box with him.
Damn box.
The surprise box.
Yeah. And she's like half mad when she sees him. She's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing here?
So come to find out, this box, they wrote each other love letters on their wedding day. And they locked it in the box and were going to open it at their 25th wedding anniversary. But they also made a pact that if before the 25 years, if they ever thought they were going to get a divorce, to open it immediately.
Yeah.
Only open for emergencies.
It was like 25th anniversary or emergencies.
Yeah. So this
Love
is an emergency.
Yeah.
And she only wrote one letter, but come to find out, Graham actually was adding letters.
Yeah. This throughout the years, he had been adding because he felt he would try to talk to Quinn, but she just wouldn't listen. So he's like, so I'm writing this down so you can read one way, because otherwise you didn't hear it all what I was saying, which is like, oh, poor Graham.
Honestly, reading the letters made me tear up a little bit. Not full on cry, but just tear up a little bit.
Go like, yeah, that's right, fucking Quinn. I hope you feel like shit.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, there were different moments of like when they first started trying, and it had been like a couple months, and he was like, I noticed you're disappointed, but you know, we have all the time in the world. And like a year later, even like we'll have kids, and when you read this on the 25th, we'll just laugh that we even thought it was that hard. And then throughout process of IVF, and then him seeing her decline more and more and being like, I don't know what to do, because I love you whether we have kids or not. And at one point he was like, you are more than enough for me in this life. And he was like, I guess I'm not enough for you. And that broke my heart. I was like, God damn it, Quinn.
Yeah, so one of the points that we forgot to touch on was at one point, Graham's sister has a new baby boy.
Oh, yeah.
And Quinn was supposed to meet Graham at the sister's house to meet the new baby boy.
She made it into like the kitchen kind of quietly. And she was like watching Graham in the living room on the couch, like playing with Tim.
Yeah, he was holding the baby, and the sister said, you'd make such a good dad. And Graham said, I know, I'm devastated that I haven't been one yet.
Yeah.
Which obviously made Quinn really upset because she thought she was holding Graham back.
Yeah.
About being a father.
She thought that, like, yeah, I love you, but you could probably have the life you wanted if you weren't with me.
Yeah. And Graham's trying to tell her,
I don't want a life without you.
Yeah. He's like, if it is choosing kids versus you, I'm choosing you.
Yeah.
I don't care about the kids anymore because I have you.
Yeah.
You're enough. Yeah.
And I forgot what. And Quinn reads all the letters.
She reads all the letters. He doesn't read hers because he thinks
he's like, I'll read it on our 25th.
Yeah, which I thought was hilarious because she put a nude picture in there, which
I
loved it. Honestly, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, there's all the letters, all italicized, and then
it goes to now, and
there we go.
They got a dog.
They get a dog. Oh yeah, and the epilogue, they're fine for the most part. She's still getting over it, but she's coming to terms with not having kids. And like now they like play a game with when people like say, "Oh, do you have kids of your own? Oh, when are you gonna have a kid?" They just pretend that they do have kids, and then they came up with like 7 names. It's just a game of like who can come up with the most ridiculous story of theirs. And Graham's like, "Oh, we have 7," and then like then they'll go back and forth. And Graham's like, "Yeah, we have 2 grandkids," and they're like young, and the cashier person would just be like, "Wow,
yeah, like okay."
And then they like named them different spices, and now they're trying to memorize their 7 kids with the names and whatever. And she needs to go pee. She stops in like a pet store, sees a puppy.
It's coriander, paprika, cinnamon, juniper, saffron, and parsley.
And like 2 sets of twins. Like they keep adding more detail of ridiculousness.
Yeah, and then she like said it in order of birth, and then Graham goes, "Saffron was born 2 minutes before Juniper," and then I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, and then they get.
Well, he lets
baby.
her.
Or not a
He
puppy.
lets her change the tire because that was one thing. Was Ethan, her ex-fiance, thought he was like too manly to let his fiance change a tire because she's a girl.
And he didn't know how to change a tire, so he would just call it tow truck. He'd rather call it tow truck than let her change a tire.
And so while they were in Europe, that had a flat. And
I
so
did
he was
think
like,
that was cute.
he's like, that's my wife.
Yeah, people walking
she's
by, she's
changing
changing the
the
tires.
tires.
She's over there.
Yeah.
That's my wife.
So then she goes to wash her hands in a pet store, finds a German Shepherd puppy. They name it August because that's the day that they
Yeah, when they were eating
reconnected.
Chinese food, the Chinese food that Ethan and Sasha
yes.
ordered, there was fortune cookies and there was just numbers on the back, and 8 was their number.
It was both
So
of them.
August.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they met on August 8th as well.
When they reconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 8 was a big thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they decided that they were actually just going to move to Europe to be closer
Yeah.
to Ava, Quinn's sister,
Yeah.
and live a happy life.
So this book was mainly just me being mad at Quinn. Like I
was
don't
so mad at
know
her.
what I want to do with this book because I
Well,
love
and
Colleen Hoover.
At one point, I was like so upset that I had to take a break, and Dean was like, "Why don't you just like DNF?" And I was like, "No, I have to
no,
finish.
we have to.
I have to finish." I was like, honestly, I'm more impressed that you know that term, to be quite
Yeah.
honest.
Thank you.
I was like, wow, taught you well.
Yeah, if
But
it's
no.
a podcast book, then I will finish it. But yeah,
But
honestly,
Colleen, I just had to know how it ends. Like, I'm just too curious.
and Graham just accepts the basically abuse that he was receiving, just the lack of love for however many years that was.
I did not appreciate how she treated him.
Oh yeah, and we resumed the dance of ignoring their
Yeah,
problem.
it just annoyed the crap out of me. Like I said, I don't condone cheating whatsoever.
Yeah.
Definitely, I am the person that does not like it. But like,
it's the lesser of the evils
I was
in
gonna
this
say,
one.
I mean, yeah, they could have just gotten a divorce at that point. But like, I don't know. I don't really like hate him because he cheated. I hate Quinn because of how she was acting towards him. I mean, what did you expect?
The worst, really. She really is.
Yeah. Like I said, I love Colleen Hoover. Like, I own almost all of her books.
Okay.
I don't think I own her YA series,
I have a few of them, but
but I own almost all of them.
mm-hmm.
And she's the type of author for me that I don't even have to look. It's just an automatic buy.
yeah.
I've got a few of those authors where it's just an automatic buy. It doesn't matter what it's about, but
Actual plot aside, her writing in this is really good. It's well written. It's
yeah.
I love the back and forth of seeing where they were versus where they are now.
Yeah,
It's
it was
just the
easy to
character
read.
herself.
Yeah, I
sucked.
didn't like her. And I think that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5. Also, I feel like usually, at least the other ones, like November 9th, I definitely know Ugly Love. They had a little more of like the romance
Yeah.
to it, which I like better.
I guess in this it's the lack of romance
No,
that's
that's
the
valid.
problem.
No, that's
so
valid.
I mean, you get to see it when they were young and just meeting and how
Yeah.
cute they were or whatever. But it just is all negated by how awful Quinn is. I just can't.
No.
I
Like I said, I love her as an author. Actually, if you go on her website, you can buy signed books for
yeah.
almost the same price as just buying a book. I think it's
Yeah.
$19 for a signed book.
And she has a bookstore in Texas. And
Yeah.
I forget what city in Texas. I know it's like outside of Austin or something. But
Someday we'll
it's
go.
like it's not just her books, obviously. And she has other books, and I guess she's there often, which would be really cool to go in.
Yeah, I think we definitely should go.
But I don't know what to do with this book.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know if I want to keep it. Like, why?
Oh.
I don't like. I'll never reread it.
I
I don't want to be angry.
Okay, well, I think I'm keeping it just for the sake of my collection.
Yeah,
because then it's all the Colleen Hoover books.
True.
But am I going to pick this up again? No.
Never.
I might pick it up to throw it against something, but
my
not to
throwing
read
book.
it.
It's my throwing book.
Yeah, this, like I said, she's the type of author that she'll make you feel emotions.
She'll make you feel.
Yeah, because Ugly Love, I cried. I cried like a baby in Ugly Love. And then Verity made me want to throw the book against a wall.
Creeps me out.
And we both actually have both Verities. We have the original one and the newest one that came out.
Yeah. I will say, if you're gonna pick the original Verity versus like the newer hardcover in like gold with the extra chapter, I would say buy the normal one, and then you don't really need the extra chapter, or just read it in the store. I don't think it's worth like
Or
purchasing.
I'm pretty sure on Book Talk people have.
Oh, people have said it now, but like
Yeah.
it's hard because not really nothing like there's no reveals.
No.
It just like makes you question harder.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you question one of the characters more, which makes you really try to figure out if it was letter or manuscript.
Yeah.
But it'll always be manuscript. For
I
me.
think it's manuscript. I'm team manuscript.
I'm team manuscript.
Anyway, that was really short because we're just mad at it.
Well, also there wasn't many plot twists.
There really wasn't. There wasn't anything surprising. There's no twists, no turns.
I think this, like I said, it's
a 3. It's the average book.
Yeah.
Don't expect much, but like don't expect nothing.
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
No.
It's a 3 because of the writing, but the 2 lost stars are for how much I hated Quinn.
Yeah. No, that's valid.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I did. Like I said, we both love Colleen Hoover.
Yeah.
I love her as an author. She seems like a fantastic person too.
Yeah.
So I got no.
She also has it's the Bookworm Box is the name of the store, but it's also a monthly subscription service where she has authors donate books like signed.
Oh yeah.
And then that's what
right.
you get monthly. But yeah, other than that, next week we have Lucy Foley's The Hunting Party.
Yes. The Hunting Party.
Pretty excited. I haven't read one of her books yet.
I've read The Hunting Party. It's been about a year or two since I've read it, so I'm obviously going to reread it. I don't really remember what happens. And then I've read another one of hers.
I know she has Paris Apartment, and now I'm blanking. The other one.
I will say I've read both, or 2 out of 3 of her books, and the 2 books that I have read from her, they're the exact like.
Oh, interesting.
Like they've got, you put a bunch of different characters in one setting. One of them's a killer. You got to figure out which one. Like
okay, it's a classic
so,
like murder dinner party situation.
Exactly.
Okay,
it's kind of like Clue, but in a book form.
Okay, guess we'll have to see if her writing makes it so worth the read.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really remember everything. I definitely don't remember who the killer was, so that's why I'm obviously reading it. But
well, sweet.
Yeah.
So you can check out our Instagram. We have our schedule up on there. We post pictures of what we're reading. You can check out our TikTok. That'll be a thing one day. We're there.
Someday we'll say to actually check it out, and there'll be things on there.
Well, yeah.
But this month, as a early Christmas present to you listeners, we're gonna be recording.
I think I'm gonna post it after Christmas, but like between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna film it before then, so to us, it's an early Christmas present.
Okay. I didn't know when you were getting.
Yeah.
There'll be a bonus episode.
There's a
at some
bonus
point.
episode.
Surprise!
We're gonna do a little 2022 wrap up.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited because we haven't talked to each other at all of what's on our list.
We had
of
we
different
had
things.
prompts.
So yes, we had.
And then
prompts.
we each worked on them separately.
I'm excited.
Me too.
I feel like it's gonna be a longer episode because we're gonna tangent hard.
Yeah.
And it'll include books that we haven't just read for the podcast. So we each have our own tastes and things going off on the side.
I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know if I have
I
any
don't
of
think I have
my
any.
of the podcasts. Let me see. Oh, I need to fill in that last one. But
I don't. I got none of them from the podcast.
I have one.
Oh.
Look at me go.
Oh.
I won.
My honorable mention is one.
Oh.
I have an honorable mention. Okay.
All right. Well, you can tune in for that as a little Christmas present since everyone will be on winter vacation probably between Christmas and New Year's. That's why I figured
That makes
they'd
sense.
have time to listen.
That makes sense.
But happy holidays. We're getting
Yes.
closer to the end of the year.
We are.
Wild.
Yes. It's crazy.
2 more books after this for our podcast.
And that'll be done for 2022.
for 2022.
I'm so excited for next year to all the books.
All the books.
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well,
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
yeah, thanks guys.
See you next week.
See you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.